Now, there was a story in the New York Times. If I didn't know better, I would say this author read my book, The Great Reset, because, it is almost word for word. However, the author is for it. So that's why she wrote it. But she said the same things that I'm saying. It's positive. Now, why would the New York Times run an MMT, story at the time when inflation is soaring? Most MMT people are embarrassed right now because inflation is going out of control. However, if you read the book or you read this argument in the New York Times, it tells you everything you need to know. MMT is modern monetary theory, and what it is we can print as much money as we want. The government doesn't even have to worry about paying it back. It can just print and print and print. If that were true, how come we're just thinking about it now? How many governments and how many gold coins, clamshells, or whatever the hell people had, why is this the first time somebody's like, you know what? The ocean's full of clamshells. Why don't we just go get all of them? It doesn't work. Now, MMT, the experts in the article reason that we're seeing too much inflation now, and it's not because of the Fed and the Democrats printing too much money and spending too much money. No, it's that there's not a sufficient number of controls, i.e. regulations on you, and taxes on you to manipulate prices to stop inflation. This is from the New York Times. Ms. Kelton and her colleagues make clear that the pandemic relief packages did not follow one of MMT's key tenets. They did not try to account for resource constraints ahead of time. In an MMT world, the Congressional Budget Office would have carefully analyzed possible inflation ahead of time. You know, the idiots that get it wrong every time there's a bill. Lawmakers would have tried to offset any strain on available workers and widgets with stabilizing measures and tax increases. The stabilizing measures that she's talking about are price controls and more regulations on businesses. Boy, this sounds like it's going to work, doesn't it? The taxes are not taxes to raise funds, because you don't need taxes to raise funds in MMT, right? You don't need to raise taxes to pay for something because you don't have to worry about it. You can just print more. The Fed can print all the money it needs. Taxes are used like price controls to punish and destroy industries that are deemed to be bad for the economy by central planners. So, the idea that the New York Times is proposing is to stop the inflation crisis, we need the CBO to step up, and impose price and labor controls. This is great. I love this because that's never been tried. That is what's coming our way. That's what the Great Reset is all about. That's what Joe Biden is doing. That's why we're hemorrhaging money and going to have massive inflation for the foreseeable future. The thing that will stop all of this is you saying, I'm not going to play this game. I'm not. I'm sorry, but I'm going to stand up in my local state, my local community against ESG. I'm taking my money out of these big, huge banks because, believe me, that's the Fed. That's the Fed. The Fed is not a part of the federal government. It is the big banks. And, when the president's nominated another Fed chairman and he's got to go in front of the Senate. Really? The president has nominated. Well, that's the president's right. He can nominate. But he can only nominate from a list of like 3 people that the Fed chairs approve. Now, I've seen this before. I've seen this in Alabama. We have a document over next door here at the museum from I think the 1930s or 50s when they were like, you're not letting black people vote. And they're like, no, that's not true. That is not true. Black people can vote at any time in the Democratic Party. Not true. Yes, it is. Here's the way it works. Yes, they can't vote in the white primary because that's a white primary. But once we get the primary done, they can choose to vote for that white guy. That's how they did it. We actually have the voting instructions and voter tabulation where it's whites only primary. So pick from these 10 white guys, all you white people, and then when we get one that we want to run, then blacks can vote. Sure. Oh, that's exactly what the Fed is. The Fed says, no, the president can pick, but only from this list. And who picks that list? All the banks. The 12 chairs of the Fed. So all of the banks. They're saying, yeah, we want him. So when the Fed says, the banking sector is really having trouble and we're thinking maybe we should bail them out, they're bailing themselves out. This is the biggest scam. This whole thing that we've created, not what the founders created, but what the progressives created in the last 100 years is the biggest scam. They tell you that, we got to save the banks. That's saving them, not you, them. Now, we're not racist. We're anti-racist. Is that why you're giving crack pipes out to underserved communities, Joe Biden? What? I'm just mad. Honestly, I'm just mad because as a wealthy white man, I have to buy my own crack pipe. I should be on that list too. They should give them to me, not just those in the underserved communities. Unbelievable.